week 6 of London Marathon training, and in all of the excitement of getting a position at the London Marathon, I'd actually forgotten that back in July I entered a race today, which was going to be my big race for the autumn. So here I am in the car park of Greenham Common, and I'm going to run around the common as many times. Well, the idea is to run around as many times as you can in 6.5 hours. Instead of going for the marathon distance today or seeing how far I can go, the training plan says 16 miles. The loop around the common is just over 4 1/3 miles. So I'm going to be doing 4 of those, and that will bring me up to about 17 miles or so, which is more or less the distance that I wanted to do. So I'm on my 3rd lap. It's about 9.5 miles into the run. It's actually a lot warmer than I thought and I'd anticipated. So I am feeling a little bit overdressed, but never mind. I think you can't run around Greenham Common without thinking of its historical significance. In the late 70s, this was an airbase that was used for the American forces mail and to get to and from the States. And then change happened in the geopolitical situation, that the Soviets deployed SS-20 missiles, which were a different type of nuclear missile. They could be launched from a mobile launch pad and fly low towards the targets in the west. So they were difficult to detect the launches and difficult to stop in flight. NATO responded by deploying the so-called ground launch cruise missiles within Europe. There were only half a dozen or so locations where these missiles were stored, and Greenham Common is one of them. So it was a very controversial decision. Many people objected on the basis that, one, many people were fundamentally against nuclear weapons. More people were against the concept of American nuclear weapons under American control on British soil. And then more people were against the fact that these cruise missiles were launched from trucks. So you'd have nuclear missiles being driven through the country roads of the UK, driven by Americans, heaven forbid. And then there was also the suspicion, even though it was actually incorrect, that because these missiles could be launched from anywhere, that little bit of spare ground next to your house or the lay-by along the road could actually be occupied by the American army and used to launch nuclear bombs. Each one of those bunkers contained a flight, so that's 4 launchers, 2 control missiles, sorry, 2 control trucks, 16 nuclear missiles, each of which with a yield of 150 kilotons. This place has been returned to what it should be. This is common ground. It's now the largest piece of heath in Berkshire, and it just astounds me that 35 years ago it was inconceivable that to think in this day and age we can actually just run around what used to be the airbase and what used to be one of the hot and iconic spots of the Cold War. So that's an awful lot of progress for humanity. Run around an airfield, they said. It'll be flat, they said. So this is one of the things I like so much about the challenge races, is you've got the pit stops. So you can take a break on each lap, something to eat, something to drink, and then head out again. So nearly done. One of the things that's really surprised me about this run has been the diversity of the landscape. I expected, being an ex-airfield and a heath, it was going to be really open and a bit exposed. In fact, there's bits of gorse, bits of bramble, little bits of birchwood, there's hills, there's ponds, there's water, and it's really quite an interesting spot. That's 16 miles now, which is what my training plan said, but I've still got another mile to get back to the finish line. To be honest, I'm feeling it, really feeling it. Definitely need to work on those hip flexors some, but we're nearly there, nearly done. So here's the finish. I get my last band and I'll ring out. Yep. Thank you. Yep. So there we go. That's 17.6 miles. A little bit further than the training plan said, but hey, I did skip some miles a few weeks ago, so I suppose it's only fair that I do a little bit more. Got a lovely, definitely not frozen themed medal, and yeah, and now I'm going to go and explore the control tower for a little bit.